first, let's just start with the impeachment. Yesterday, Bill Taylor, and if you go back and listen, I can't. When was it? About 2 weeks ago that we got the text messages, and we read through those text messages, and they were incredibly damning. And Bill Taylor, it was quite clear from those text messages the relevance that he plays in all of this. Bill Taylor was a career diplomat who was appointed acting ambassador to Ukraine after the Trump administration got rid of the first existing ambassador to Ukraine because she was,
Unfair.
I guess, unfair and not involving herself enough in the pursuit of Trump's looking for an investigation into Biden. And Bill Taylor is the guy who's sort of like, he's just not part of the crew. He's there. They seem to think he's going to go along with it. But at one point in the in the text messages he had with Sunderland, who is the hotelier who gave $1 million to Trump's inaugural ball or fund. I'm not quite sure where that money went, but he was the ambassador to the EU. He basically took over the Ukraine portfolio along with Kurt Volker and Rudy Giuliani, essentially. And Taylor, at one point in the exchanges, says, as I said on the phone last night, I think withholding security assistance to help with a political campaign is crazy. And then Sunderland was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. No one said the words quid pro quo. In fact, I just watched The Sopranos on the plane ride out here. The episode where Tony thought that his buddy was wired, and it turned out to be another guy who was wired. Mm-hmm. But it was a similar type of situation where Tony was like, yeah, sure, okay. I never said that. And Bill Taylor went and testified yesterday. All we have is his opening statement, which was released. But it's quite clear from that he, when he first got there, could not believe what was going on. And it took him a while to understand what was happening. But by the end, he realized that Giuliani, Volker, Sondland, and Rick Perry were...
Rick Perry.
Yeah.
Best people.
The best people.
This is what he says. He goes, Taylor lays out a timeline of Trump's interactions with Zelensky. This is the president of Ukraine. And the, quote, highly irregular channel of U.S. policymaking in Ukraine that included Kurt Volker, Sondland, Rick Perry, and Rudy Giuliani, who, I should remind you, does not work for the U.S. government. He works for the president of the United States as his personal attorney.
In his capacity as a simple country lawyer.
And the interesting thing about this is that, at least according to what we know from Taylor's thing, now, they are deposing people. And apparently this is the way that the first Benghazi hearings went. They depose people behind closed doors, then they open it up to public hearings, and which makes sense. It's the same way that you would do any type of prosecution. And according to what has been reported on Taylor's testimony, it seems like they were not even necessarily asking for an actual investigation. They were asking for an announcement that there would be, to basically, obviously, to as a way of hurting Joe Biden in the general election campaign. And so the quid pro quo is indisputably there. And you know this because, and do we have Mo Brooks apparently yelling? Did you hear about this?
No.
The
That sounds
the
good.
Republicans are now yelling about the process. Literally, I think Mo Brooks from Alabama was like in the hallway, like almost like did his own version of like a Code Pink protest, and and they are going to
No
argue
more emoluments clause. We
exactly
will bleed.
fake emoluments.
Fake emoluments. Stop the prosecution.
And the
We have it.
okay, yeah. Here is Mo Brooks. This is how you know the Republicans know they have a massive problem on this question of quid pro quo.
And this is how they are so stressed that somebody went to Donald Trump and was like, "You can't do the G7 in your frigging hotel, dude."
Right. That's
You
a
can't
bad move
do
right
it.
now, Chief. But they know how bad this is, Bill Taylor is, in this point. And so they're going to talk about process because they're very concerned with norms. And here's Mo Brooks.
Mr. Brooks, the opening statement says very clearly, this is what Bill...
The opening statement doesn't make any difference.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish my question. He says
You
very
should
clearly...
not be relying on it.
Why should not be relying on his public testimony?
If you were in a court of law, would you rely just on the opening statement of an attorney?
But let me
or
ask
the
you-
first witness
can I
called?
ask you what
or
he
would you
said?
have cross-examination? Would you allow rebuttal witnesses to determine, to explore whether the first witness's testimony was accurate or incorrect?
I'm asking about the substance of what he said. He
That
said
didn't make
that...
any difference. We don't know whether what he said is true or not because of the sham process that's being used.
There's the sham process.
Oh my God, he's aging the entire Republican caucus.
Yeah. And this is a big problem for them. This is going to be a big problem for them. And the next question is just simply going to be, how are the Democrats going to handle this? We see numbers on impeachment are up, all except for Trump's base, which is highly problematic for the Republicans. And this is, it's just a question of timing now and what other articles of impeachment they bring in. We'll get to those other clips in a moment.